There is a mistake you keep making, and the strangest part is you already know what it is. You have felt it before. That familiar sting when something falls apart, and deep inside a quiet voice whispers, "I saw this coming." If you are an Aries, this is not just a random pattern. This is something woven into the very fabric of how you move through the world. You charge forward with fire and passion, you throw yourself into situations with everything you have, and then, something breaks. A relationship, a plan, a promise you made to yourself, and the cycle starts again. But here is the thing most people will never tell you. The mistake is not what you think it is. It is not your temper. It is not your impatience. It is not even the speed at which you move. The real mistake is something far more subtle, and once you see it clearly, once you truly understand the mechanism that drives this loop, everything shifts. That is exactly what we are going to do today. Over the next several minutes, I am going to walk you through 10 specific insights that will not only expose the pattern that has been running your life, but give you the tools to finally break it. And if you stay until the end, the final piece of this puzzle will change how you see yourself entirely. So settle in, take a breath, and pay close attention, because what you are about to hear is going to land differently than anything you have encountered before. Tip 1: you confuse motion with progress, and it is costing you everything you want most. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine someone running on a path through the woods. They are moving fast, breathing hard, pouring every ounce of energy into the sprint. From the outside, it looks impressive. It looks powerful. But here is the problem: they never stop to check the map. They never paused long enough to ask, "Am I even running in the right direction?" That person is you. And I do not say that to be harsh. I say it because this is the single most important thing an Aries needs to understand about themselves. You were born with an extraordinary engine. You have more drive, more raw energy, more willingness to act than almost any other sign. But that gift comes with a shadow, and the shadow is this: you mistake the feeling of movement for the reality of progress. They are not the same thing. You can be incredibly busy and still be standing in the same place you were a year ago. You can fill every hour of every day with tasks, conversations, plans, and goals, and still feel that deep, aching sense of emptiness that tells you something is off. The reason is simple. Progress is not about how much you do. Progress is about whether what you do is aligned with where you actually want to go. And for most of your life, you have been so focused on doing that you have forgotten to ask yourself why. Think about the last time you felt truly stuck. Not the kind of stuck where nothing is happening, but the kind where everything is happening and none of it feels right. That is the Aries trap. You fill the silence with action because silence feels like weakness. You fill the stillness with motion because standing still feels like failure. But the silence is not your enemy. The stillness is not a threat. They are the spaces where clarity lives. They are the places where you finally get to hear what your deeper self has been trying to tell you. The pattern works like this. You feel a spark of inspiration or a flash of frustration, and immediately you launch into action. You do not sit with the feeling. You do not examine it. You do not ask yourself whether this impulse is coming from wisdom or from fear. You just go. And because you are so capable, so naturally skilled at making things happen, the results look good at first. Things start moving. People respond. Doors open. But then, somewhere around the midpoint, the cracks begin to show. The project loses its shine. The relationship reveals a layer you did not expect. The goal starts to feel hollow. And instead of slowing down to understand why, you do what you have always done. You abandon it and sprint toward the next thing. This is not a character flaw. This is a survival mechanism that you developed a long time ago. At some point in your life, you learned that stopping was dangerous. Maybe you learned that if you paused, someone would catch up and hurt you. Maybe you learned that if you stood still, you would have to face feelings you were not ready to face. Whatever the origin, the result is the same. You run and you keep running and you call it strength. But real strength, the kind that actually transforms your life, is not about speed. It is about direction. It is about having the courage to stop, look around, and ask yourself the hardest question of all. Is this where I actually want to be? Most people will never ask that question. Most people will spend their entire lives running on autopilot, mistaking exhaustion for effort and busyness for purpose. But you are not most people. You are here, right now, listening to this, which tells me something important about you. Tells me you are ready to run differently. Not slower, not less passionately, but with intention. with awareness, with the kind of focused clarity that turns raw energy into real lasting change. Tip 2. You start fires you have no intention of tending, and then wonder why everything burns out. There is something about the beginning of things that lights you up like nothing else. A new idea, a new connection, a new possibility. The moment it appears, you feel alive in a way that is almost addictive. Your eyes brighten. Your energy surges. You can see the whole thing in your mind, finished and perfect, and you want to be there right now. That initial spark, that burst of creative fire, is one of the most beautiful things about being an Aries. But here is where the pattern turns on you. You light the match, you start the fire, and then you walk away. Not always physically. Sometimes you walk away emotionally. Sometimes you walk away with your attention, letting it drift to the next spark, the next flame, the next exciting beginning. And the fire you started, the one that needed you to stay and feed it and protect it from the wind, it dies. And you stand in the ashes wondering what happened. This is the cycle that has been repeating in your life for years, maybe decades. You start things beautifully. You have an incredible gift for initiation, for launching, for getting things off the ground. But the follow-through, the maintenance, the daily tending of the flame, that is where you lose yourself. And it is not because you are lazy. Far from it. It is because the thing that drives you, that deep fire inside, is fed by novelty and challenge. Once something becomes familiar, once the challenge fades and the routine sets in, your internal fire starts looking elsewhere for fuel. This shows up everywhere. In your relationships, where the early passion gives way to a restless itch you cannot quite name. In your career, where you have probably changed direction more times than you can count. In your personal goals, where the journal sits half finished and the plan you were so excited about 3 weeks ago is already gathering dust. The pattern is so consistent that you might have started to believe it is just who you are. I am someone who starts things but does not finish them. But that is not who you are. That is a story you have been telling yourself, and stories can be rewritten. The truth is, you are not incapable of commitment. You are not inherently flawed in some way that prevents you from seeing things through. What you are is untrained in the art of sustained attention. You have spent your whole life developing the muscle of initiation. You are world-class at starting, but the muscle of continuation, of showing up on the days when it is not exciting, of doing the work when nobody is watching and no spark is present, that muscle has not been developed. And like any muscle, it can be built. It just requires a different kind of effort than you are used to. Instead of the explosive, all-at-once effort you prefer, it requires the slow, steady, daily effort of choosing the same thing again and again. It requires you to sit with boredom and not run from it. It requires you to find fuel in the small victories, the quiet progress, the incremental growth that does not announce itself with fireworks. This is not natural for you. I understand that. But nothing worth building was ever built in a single burst of inspiration. The things that last, the things that actually change your life, are the things you showed up for when the fire was low and the spark was gone. You have the power to start anything. That was never the question. The question has always been, can you stay? If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. You wear your armor so well that you have forgotten you are not the armor. There is a version of you that the world sees. Strong, confident, fearless, unstoppable. The one who walks into any room and owns it. The one who speaks up when everyone else stays silent. The one who pushes through pain like it does not exist. That version of you is real, but it is not the whole story. Beneath that armor, behind the shield you built so long ago you cannot remember a time without it, there is someone else. Someone softer. Someone who feels things so deeply that it terrifies you. Someone who has been hiding, not because they are weak, but because they learned early on that vulnerability gets punished. And so you built the armor. Layer by layer, year by year, you constructed a version of yourself that could take the hits, absorb the blows, and keep moving. You learned to turn sadness into anger because anger felt stronger. You learned to turn fear into aggression because aggression felt safer. You learned to push people away before they could see too deeply, because if they saw the real you, if they saw the tender, aching, desperately loving heart beneath all that fire, they might use it against you. This is the great paradox of being an Aries. You are one of the most sensitive signs in existence, But you have buried that sensitivity so deep that even you have lost sight of it. And the armor, the beautiful, terrible armor that has protected you all this time, it is also the thing that is keeping you from everything you want. Because here is what happens when you live inside your armor. You survive, yes. You endure. You push through. But you do not connect. Not really. Not in the way your soul is starving for. The armor keeps the pain out, but it also keeps the love out. Keeps the intimacy out. It keeps the kind of deep soul-level connection that would actually heal you from reaching the parts of you that need it most. And you feel it. In the quiet moments late at night, when the world is asleep and you are alone with yourself, you feel the weight of it. The exhaustion of always being strong. The loneliness of always being the one who has it together. The ache of wanting someone, anyone, to see past the surface and love what they find underneath. But every time someone gets close, every time someone starts to see the real you, the alarm bells go off. The walls go up. The armor locks into place. And you push them away with anger or distance or that cold, cutting indifference that you have perfected over the years. You tell yourself it is because they were not worth it. You tell yourself it is because you do not need anyone. You tell yourself you are better off alone. But those are just more layers of armor. More protection for the part of you that is desperately afraid of being seen. The breakthrough comes when you realize that the armor is not protecting you anymore. It is imprisoning you. The threats it was built to defend against, the childhood wounds, the early betrayals, the moments when your tenderness was met with cruelty, those threats are in the past. They are over. But you are still carrying the defense as though the battle is happening right now. Taking off the armor does not make you weak. It makes you brave in a way that most people will never understand. It takes far more courage to be soft than it does to be hard. It takes far more strength to open your heart than it does to close your fist. And the love you have been searching for, the connection you have been craving, the sense of being truly known and accepted, it is standing right outside the walls you built. All you have to do is let it in. Tip 4: you give second chances to people who did not earn the first one, and it keeps draining your fire. There is a generosity in you that most people do not see. Behind the tough exterior, behind the warrior energy and the sharp edges, you have a heart that wants to believe the best in people. When someone lets you down, your first instinct, the one you would never admit to publicly, is not anger. It is hope. You hope they will change. You hope they will see what they did. You hope that if you give them just one more chance, just one more opportunity, they will finally show up the way you need them to. And so you let them back in. Again and again and again. The friend who only calls when they need something. The partner who says the right words but never follows through with action. The family member who takes your energy and gives nothing in return. You keep the door open because somewhere inside, you believe that loyalty means endurance. You believe that being strong means being able to withstand anything, even mistreatment. But there is a difference between loyalty and self-destruction, and you have been confusing the two for far too long. Every time you let someone back in who has not earned their place, you send a message to yourself. Not to them, to yourself. The message is this: my boundaries do not matter. My peace is less important than their comfort. I can absorb this pain because I am strong enough to handle it. And yes, you are strong enough to handle it. That was never the question. The question is whether you should have to. The question is whether your strength should be spent absorbing the damage of people who do not value you, or whether that strength would be better invested in building a life surrounded by people who do. This is one of the hardest lessons for an Aries to learn, because it goes against everything your nature tells you. You are a fighter. You do not retreat. You do not give up on people. Giving up feels like failure, and failure is the one thing you cannot stand. But walking away from someone who repeatedly hurts you is not giving up. It is waking up. It is recognizing that your fire, your precious, powerful, life-giving fire, is a finite resource. And every time you pour it into someone who does not appreciate it, someone who takes it for granted, someone who lets it burn them and then blames you for the heat, you are left with less fire for yourself. Less fire for your dreams. Less fire for the people who genuinely love you and deserve your warmth. Start paying attention to how you feel after spending time with certain people. Not during, because in the moment you are usually performing, wearing the armor, playing the role. But after, when you are alone again, do you feel energized or depleted? Do you feel lifted or heavy? Do you feel seen or invisible? Those feelings are data. They are telling you something important about who belongs in your life, and who does not. You do not owe anyone your destruction. You do not have to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Your generosity is a gift, but it is a gift that should be given to those who treat it as sacred, not to those who treat it as a right. The next time you find yourself reaching for the phone to give someone yet another chance, pause. Just pause and ask yourself one simple question. If they had treated someone I love the way they treat me, would I tell that person to go back? You already know the answer. Tip 5. You chase external validation because you were never taught to trust the fire already inside you. There is a hunger in you that no amount of achievement will ever satisfy, and until you understand where it comes from, it will drive you into the ground. You work harder than anyone around you. You push yourself further, demand more of yourself, set the bar higher every single time. And when you reach the goal, when you finally arrive at the place you told yourself would make everything better, the satisfaction lasts about 5 minutes. Then the hunger returns. That gnawing, restless, aching need for more. More success. More recognition. More proof that you are enough. This is not ambition. Ambition has a destination. This is something else entirely. This is a wound dressed up as motivation. Somewhere in your past, probably so early that you do not consciously remember it, you received a message. Maybe it was spoken outright, or maybe it was communicated through silence, through absence, through the way someone looked at you or failed to look at you at all. The message was this: you are not enough as you are. You must earn your worth. You must prove your value. You must do something extraordinary, just to deserve the space you take up in this world. And you believed it. Of course you believed it. You were young, and the people delivering that message were the gods of your universe, the ones you depended on for survival. So you internalized it. You built your entire identity around it. And you started running, not towards something, but away from the terrifying possibility that the message was true. Every accomplishment became evidence in a case you were building, a case to prove your own worthiness. Every failure became confirmation of your deepest fear, that maybe underneath it all you really are not enough. This is why you react so intensely when you feel disrespected. This is why criticism cuts you deeper than it should. This is why you cannot stand being overlooked or underestimated. It is not ego, though it looks like ego from the outside. It is pain. It is the pain of a child who is never told, convincingly and consistently, you are valuable simply because you exist. You do not have to earn love. You do not have to prove anything. You are enough right now, exactly as you are. That child is still inside you. And that child is still running, still performing, still desperately trying to win the approval of people who may never give it, or who gave it conditionally, or who gave it once and then took it away. The cycle breaks when you stop looking outside yourself for what can only be found within. No achievement will fill this hole. No amount of praise will silence this doubt. No trophy, no title, no victory will ever be enough, because the hunger is not about what you do. It is about who you believe you are. And who you believe you are was decided a long time ago by people who did not have the tools or the awareness to see you clearly. Their failure to recognize your worth does not diminish it. Their inability to love you properly does not make you unlovable. You have spent years, possibly decades, building a case for your own value based on external evidence. It is time to close that case. Not because you won it, but because it was never a legitimate trial. The verdict was decided before the evidence was gathered, and the judge was never qualified to sit on that bench. Tip 6. You treat rest as the enemy when it has always been the missing ingredient in your power. There is a belief running through your veins, as deep and instinctive as your heartbeat, that if you stop, you will fall behind. That rest is for people who do not want it badly enough. That the moment you take your foot off the gas, everything you have built will crumble. This belief feels like truth. Feels like wisdom earned through hard experience. But it is a lie. And it is one of the most destructive lies an Aries can carry. You treat your body like a machine and your energy like an unlimited resource. You push through exhaustion. You ignore the warning signs. You tell yourself that sleep is a luxury, that breaks are for the weak, that you will rest when the work is done. But the work is never done, is it? There is always another goal, another mountain, another challenge demanding your attention. And so the rest never comes, and your body starts to speak louder. First in whispers, small aches, restless nights, a tightness in your chest that you blame on stress. Then in shouts, illness, injury, the kind of forced stop that your body imposes when you refuse to choose it willingly. This is not a coincidence. This is your body trying to save you from yourself. It knows something your mind refuses to accept, that you cannot burn at full intensity forever. Not because you are weak, but because that is not how fire works. Even the most powerful blaze needs oxygen. Even the hottest flame needs fuel. And rest, true rest, is the oxygen your fire has been starving for. But this goes deeper than physical exhaustion. There is an emotional and spiritual dimension to your refusal to rest that most people miss. When you stop moving, when you finally sit still and let the noise die down, you have to feel things. And feeling things for an Aries can be absolutely terrifying. In the stillness, the emotions you have been outrunning catch up. The grief you stuffed down. The sadness you converted into anger. The fear you masked with bravado. It all surfaces and it demands to be felt. So you keep moving. You keep doing. You keep producing and achieving and conquering, because as long as you are in motion, you do not have to face what is waiting in the quiet. But those emotions are not going away. They are accumulating. They are building pressure beneath the surface, and eventually they will find a way out. Usually at the worst possible moment, in the form of an explosion that damages something you care about. The alternative is to let them out deliberately, in small manageable doses, by choosing to rest. By choosing to sit with yourself. By choosing to feel what needs to be felt, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it is painful, even when every cell in your body is screaming at you to get up and do something. Rest is not passive. Rest is one of the most active and courageous choices you can make. It is the choice to trust that the world will not fall apart without your constant intervention. It is the choice to believe that you are valuable even when you are not producing anything. It is the choice to honor your own humanity, to acknowledge that you are not a machine, that you have limits, and that those limits are not flaws. They are features. They are the boundaries that keep your fire from consuming everything, including you. Give yourself permission to stop. Not forever. Not even for very long. Just long enough to breathe. Just long enough to feel. Just long enough to remember that the most powerful version of you is not the one who never stops. It is the one who knows exactly when to. Tip 7. You mistake independence for isolation and then wonder why you feel so alone. You take pride in not needing anyone. It is one of the cornerstones of your identity. This fierce, unyielding self-reliance that has carried you through every storm, every setback, every dark night when there was no one else to lean on. You taught yourself to be your own rescue. You learned to fight your own battles, dry your own tears, pick yourself up and keep going without waiting for a hand that might never come. And that strength is real. It is admirable. It is something most people will never develop because they never had to. But there is a line between independence and isolation, and you crossed it a long time ago without noticing. Independence says, I can take care of myself. Isolation says, I must take care of myself because no one else will. Independence is a choice made from strength. Isolation is a defense built from pain. And the version of self-reliance you have been practicing is not the empowering kind. It is the kind born from wounds, from the times you reached out and were dropped, from the moments you asked for help and were told to figure it out, from the experiences that taught you at a deep and primal level that depending on others is dangerous. So you built a life that does not require anyone. You structured everything so that you could handle it alone. And on the surface it works. You manage. You survive. You even thrive in certain measurable ways. But there is a cost, and the cost is connection. Real, deep, vulnerable, messy, terrifying, beautiful connection. The kind where someone sees all of you, not just the strong parts, and stays. The kind where you let someone carry something for you. Not because you cannot carry it yourself, but because you do not have to. The kind where you say out loud, I am struggling. And instead of being met with judgment, you are met with open arms. You want that. I know you do, even if you would never admit it. In the quiet hours when the armor comes off and the performance stops, you ache for it. You ache for the feeling of being held, not physically necessarily, though that too, but emotionally. The feeling of not having to be the strong one for just a little while. The feeling of someone saying, you do not have to do this alone, and actually meaning it. But every time it gets close, every time someone offers that kind of closeness, you pull back. You deflect with humor. You create distance with busyness. You test them, sometimes without realizing it, pushing them away to see if they will push back, if they will fight to stay. And when they do not fight hard enough, when they accept the distance you created, you tell yourself, See, I knew I could only count on myself. But you set the test. You built the obstacle course. You created the conditions that guaranteed the outcome you feared, and then you used that outcome as proof that your fear was justified. This is not independence. This is a fortress built by a child who was hurt, and it is time to start taking it apart. Not all at once, not recklessly, but brick by brick, relationship by relationship, conversation by conversation. Start with something small. The next time someone asks how you are doing, tell the truth. Not the polished, everything is fine truth. The real truth. The I am tired and I do not know what I am doing truth. See what happens. You might be surprised. The world does not end when you let people see your cracks. More often than not, it is the cracks that let the light in, the light that you have been blocking along with everything else. You were never meant to do this alone. No one was. And asking for help, leaning on someone, letting yourself be seen in your imperfection, that is not weakness. That is the bravest thing you will ever do. Tip 8. You forgive others quickly but hold yourself to a standard no human could meet. This one is going to sting, but you need to hear it. You are merciless with yourself. Absolutely, brutally, unforgivingly merciless. When someone else makes a mistake, you understand. You see the context. You recognize the humanity. You might be frustrated, you might be hurt, but somewhere in you, there is a capacity for compassion that allows you to let it go. Sometimes faster than you should. But when you make a mistake, there is no compassion. There is no understanding. There is only that vicious inner voice, the one that sounds so much like your own thoughts that you have never questioned whether it is actually telling the truth. You should have known better. You are smarter than this. What is wrong with you? You always do this. You will never change. That voice has been with you for so long that you think it is you. You think it is your conscience, your standards, your drive for excellence. But it is not any of those things. It is a wound speaking, and it is saying the same things that were said to you or implied to you or communicated to you through silence and disappointment a very long time ago. You internalized a critic, and you gave that critic unlimited access to your inner world. You let it sit in the control room of your mind, and you let it run the show. And the show it runs is a relentless, exhausting, never enough performance that leaves you drained and hollow no matter how much you achieve. Think about the last time you failed at something. Not a catastrophic failure, just a regular, human, everybody does it kind of failure. How did you treat yourself? Did you offer yourself the same grace you would offer a friend? Did you say, "It is okay, you did your best, you will do better next time"? Or did you launch into a full-scale prosecution, gathering every past failure as evidence, building a case that proves you are fundamentally broken? You know the answer, and you know how it made you feel. The cruelty you direct at yourself is not making you better. It is not pushing you to improve. It is doing the opposite. It is eroding your confidence, your creativity, your willingness to take risks. Because every time you fail, the punishment is so severe that the next time, you either play it safe to avoid failing, or you push yourself so hard that burnout becomes inevitable. This is the cycle. Demand perfection, fail to achieve it because perfection does not exist, punish yourself for the failure, then demand even more perfection to make up for it. Round and round, year after year, and the only thing that changes is how tired you are. The way out is not to lower your standards. You would never accept that, and I would never ask you to. The way out is to change how you respond when you do not meet them. Instead of punishment, try curiosity. Instead of what is wrong with me, try what can I learn from this. Instead of adding another item to the list of evidence against yourself, try seeing the failure as information, neutral data that helps you adjust your approach. You deserve the same compassion you give to everyone else. You are not an exception to the rule of human imperfection. You are not supposed to be flawless. You are supposed to be growing, and growth requires mistakes the way fire requires oxygen. Without them, there is no heat. There is no light. There is only the cold, dark stillness of a life lived in fear of getting it wrong. Some people watch. Others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting. It's about moving. Tip 9. You have been carrying a version of yourself that is too small for the life you are meant to live. There is an identity you built for yourself a long time ago. It was shaped by your circumstances, by the people around you, by the limitations that were placed placed on you before you were old enough to question them. And for a while, that identity served you, kept you safe. It helped you navigate a world that was not always kind to someone with your fire. But you have outgrown it. You have been outgrowing it for years, and the discomfort you feel, that restless, itching, something is not right feeling that you cannot quite name, that is the friction between who you are becoming and the container you are trying to fit into. The container is too small. It was built for a younger version of you, a version that did not know what you know now, that had not survived what you have survived, that had not grown in the ways you have grown. And yet you keep trying to squeeze yourself back into it because it is familiar, because change is frightening, because the unknown version of you, the bigger, bolder, more authentic version, feels too vast to comprehend. You do this in subtle ways. You stay in relationships that you have outgrown because leaving feels like too much disruption. You stay in roles that no longer challenge you because the security feels necessary. You hold on to beliefs about yourself that are no longer true because updating them would require you to rethink everything. I am not good at that. That is not for someone like me. I do not deserve that kind of life. These are the walls of the old container, and every time you repeat them, you reinforce the structure that is keeping you small. But the cracks are showing. The pressure is building. The version of you that is ready to emerge is not going to wait forever. It is pushing against every boundary you have set, every limitation you have accepted, every compromise you have made with your own potential. And the longer you resist it, the more painful the pressure becomes. This is why you feel so agitated sometimes, so frustrated, so angry at things that should not matter that much. It is not about the thing that triggered the feeling. It is about the fact that you are living below your capacity, and your soul knows it, even when your mind tries to rationalize it away. The life you are meant to live is not the life you are currently living. I know that is a bold statement, but I believe it to be true for you right now, in this moment. There is a version of your life that is so much bigger, so much richer, so much more aligned with who you truly are, that if you could see it clearly, it would take your breath away. But you cannot get there from here. You cannot reach it while you are still wearing the old identity, still playing the old role, still operating within the old rules. Something has to shift. Something has to break open. And that something is you. Not break as in shatter. Break as in emerge. Like a seed breaks through soil. Like dawn breaks through darkness. The breaking is not destruction. It is birth. You have been preparing for this your entire life, whether you knew it or not. Every challenge you survived, every failure you endured, every time you fell and got back up, it was all preparation for this moment. The moment when you stop trying to fit into the old container and finally, allow yourself to become what you were always meant to be. It will not be comfortable. Growth never is. But the discomfort of growth is a clean pain, purposeful and temporary. The discomfort of staying small is a dirty pain, pointless and endless. Choose the clean pain. Choose the growth. Choose the bigger version of yourself even though it terrifies you, especially because it terrifies you. Tip 10. The pattern breaks the moment you stop fighting yourself and start fighting for yourself. Everything we have talked about today, every pattern, every habit, every cycle that has been running your life has one thing in common. In every single case, the fight was directed inward. You were fighting yourself, fighting your emotions, fighting your vulnerability, fighting your need for rest, for connection, for compassion. You took that incredible warrior energy, that fire that could move mountains and reshape landscapes, and you aimed it at the one target that should have been off limits, you. And you are good at it. Terrifyingly good. Because no one knows your weaknesses better than you do. No one knows exactly where to strike to cause maximum damage. No one can hurt you as efficiently, as precisely, as thoroughly as you can hurt yourself. You have been your own greatest opponent for years, and the worst part is, you have been winning. Every time you pushed past your limits when your body begged you to stop. Every time you silenced a feeling that needed to be heard. Every time you chose the hard path not because it was the right path, but because you believed you did not deserve the easier one. Those were victories, but they were victories against yourself. And what did they cost you? Think about that honestly. What has this internal war actually cost you? How many relationships have been casualties? How many dreams have been abandoned on the battlefield? How many moments of joy have been sacrificed because you were too busy fighting to notice them? The answer, if you are truly honest with yourself, is probably more than you want to admit. But here is the thing about Aries that gives me more hope for you than for almost anyone else. The same energy that has been destroying you from the inside can be redirected. The the same fire that has been burning you can be used to forge something extraordinary. The same warrior spirit that has been aimed inward can be turned outward, not against others, but in service of yourself. Fighting for yourself looks different than fighting against yourself. Fighting for yourself means setting a boundary and holding it, even when guilt tells you to give in. It means walking away from something that is not serving you, even when fear tells you to stay. It means resting when you are tired, even when that internal voice calls you lazy. It means asking for help, even when every instinct screams that you should be able to handle it alone. It means forgiving yourself for your mistakes, not because they do not matter, but because you matter more. Fighting for yourself means choosing every single day to treat yourself with the same fierce loyalty and protectiveness that you offer to the people you love. You would never let someone treat your best friend the way you treat yourself. You would never stand by and watch someone tear apart a person you care about the way you tear yourself apart in your own mind. So why do you allow it when the person on the receiving end is you? You are not your own enemy. You never were. You were a warrior without a proper cause, and so you turned the blade inward because the energy had to go somewhere. But now you have a cause. The cause is you. Your healing, your growth, your peace, your right to exist in this world without constantly proving that you deserve to be here. That is a cause worth fighting for. That is a battle worth winning. And you, with all your fire and passion and relentless, unstoppable drive, you are exactly the right person to win it. If you have made it this far, I want you to understand something. This was not a list of flaws. This was a map. Every pattern we discussed, every cycle we named, every wound we touched, it was all pointing to the same destination. Freedom. Not the kind of freedom that comes from running away because you have tried that and it does not work. The kind of freedom that comes from running toward yourself, toward the truth of who you are beneath all the armor, all the performance, all the decades of self-protection that kept you alive but kept you from truly living. You are standing at a crossroads right now, and I do not mean that metaphorically. I mean right now, in this moment, as these words settle into your awareness. One path leads back to the familiar, back to the patterns, the cycles, the comfortable discomfort that you have been navigating for as long as you can remember. That path is well worn. You know every step, every turn, every pothole, and there is a certain safety in that predictability, even when the path leads to pain. The other path leads somewhere you have never been. It is unfamiliar, uncharted, and yes, it is frightening. It requires you to do things that go against every survival instinct you have developed. To slow down when you want to sprint, to feel when you want to fight, to open when you want to close, to trust when every experience has taught you that trust is dangerous. But here is what I know about you, Aries, and I mean this from the deepest part of my understanding. You were not built for the safe path. You were not designed for the comfortable route. You were built for the frontier, for the edge, for the places where others stop and you keep going. That is your gift. That has always been your gift. The only difference is that now, for the first time, the frontier is not out there somewhere. It is in here, inside you. The unexplored territory is your own heart, your own wounds, your own potential, your own capacity for the kind of deep, transformative change that does not just alter your circumstances but alters who you are at the most fundamental level. You have spent your life conquering external worlds. It is time to conquer the internal one, not with force, not with aggression, but with the same courage and determination that have defined you from the very beginning, directed inward for the first time. Not against yourself, but for yourself. The pattern breaks now, not because the stars shifted or the universe decided to give you a break. It breaks because you decided, because you chose in this moment to stop repeating and start rebuilding. And that choice, that single powerful irreversible choice, is the most Aries thing you will ever do. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.